It was a sensor that felt what the spine had in mind, and you ended up with hair on your head. And the only people who could give the Neanderthalers a problem were the males of the species that they separated, because they were physically stronger.
If I had never dropped out, I would have never dropped in on that calligraphy class, and personal computers might not have the wonderful typography that they do. Of course, it was impossible to connect the dots looking forward when I was in college, but it was very, very clear looking backwards 10 years later. Again, you can't connect the dots looking forward. You can only connect them looking backwards. So you have to trust that the dots will somehow connect in your future. You have to trust in something, your gut, destiny, life, karma, whatever, because believing that the dots will connect down the road will give you the confidence to follow your heart, even when it leads you off the well-worn path, and that will make all the difference.
People live and people die. Some people's DNA is retained by nature for use again, and that means it can be recycled into other living things by being absorbed in the grass, that kind of thing. If you ever walk by in a field and you see a dead animal on the ground, and you leave it there. Over time, as you go by, as I do, because I have to cut the grass a lot, you notice that the grass where that animal was is greener than the rest of it. So obviously the chemistry of that individual has been absorbed into the grass. So along comes a cow and eats that grass, and along comes a butcher who puts it in the stores, and somebody eats that, and you have the transfer of DNA.
Well, I heard a guy working for the government here in America, CIA or NSA agent, was talking. He was on the radio, and he said that I thought it was very important. He said, my job at the agency is I carry a laptop computer, which is filled with all of the hidden dates and mystical symbols and dates. And that's one of my jobs, is to correlate and connect dates and times with the ancient occult world. And he said, I've been doing that for years. That's one of the things I do for the CIA. I just thought that was very interesting, that there are people hired to do nothing but check all the ancient dates of the world, religious observances, all the symbols, and then make it available for the modern day military-industrial complex and governments to start their wars, to end their wars, all kinds of manipulation based on ancient significant dates and mystical symbols. So yeah, there is something to this whole idea that these wars are started on certain days, they end on certain days. It's all part of a blood ritual that's been going on for thousands of years.
I can't believe it.
Nazi zombies. As if zombies weren't enough.
I don't know, is them being Nazis really any worse?
Sure it is. They're Nazis.
Nazi zombies.
But that's the question. Are they? Nazis, I mean? Or are they just Nazis that died and became zombies? Because that's pretty much just the same as normal zombies.
What are you talking about?
Look, if they were that full of hate and life, imagine what they're like now that they're dead.
See, I don't think that's how it works, okay? If you were a sweet old lady, you're not gonna be a sweet old zombie. A zombie's a zombie. See, the question is, are they discriminating? Because if not, I think we just have run-of-the-mill zombies on our hands.
Oh my god.
See, now this is interesting.
Jewish zombies.
Now, if the Nazis remain neutral, I think that we can... Okay, they're definitely Nazis.
Nazi zombies.
Okay, now I'm conflicted. Should we help?
What?
I mean, there are Nazis killing Jews out there.
Nazi zombies killing Jewish zombies out there.
Are you crazy?
It's pretty much genocide, technically. I mean, if Hitler was out there, wouldn't you want to kill him even if he was a zombie?
Well, especially if he was a zombie.
Okay, look, there are a lot of zombies out there, all right? If we go out there, we will die.
Don't worry, the Americans are intervening.
Kill myself, I've been born again with razor fangs for these bitter men. I'm filled with rancor for my pain. I've cleared my soul in these rays of hate. As I fall down on this bloody knee, I such a shit, now I see, intoxicated in hindsight. I'm going to get you on the flip side. On the flip side. On the flip side.
People with a complete lack of human empathy at the heart of the political and business elites.
Sociopaths care only about themselves and acquiring power for themselves.
That was pretty strong language yesterday. You're with us or you're a child pornography sympathizer. What did you mean by that?
Well, I didn't exactly say that, Don. In fact, it was a far cry from that. He can either stand with us or with the child pornographers. Well, I didn't exactly say that, Don.
But psychopaths don't care about anyone, including themselves.
And they still have no idea what you're about. Tell me in a sentence who you are. Nobody. I'm nobody.
Do you know what the word empathy means?
No, I'll have to have the beginner's course on that one. Empathy, is it something like sympathy?
Oh, it goes beyond sympathy. Sympathy is to understand what someone feels. Empathy is to project your imagination so that you actually feel what the other person is feeling. You put yourself in the other person's place.
Climbing around, climbing things. Why do men climb mountains and scare themselves?
He became a dreamer who found life tame and unsatisfying, a searcher for strange realms and relationships once familiar, yet lying nowhere in the visible regions of Earth. Filled with a feeling that our tangible world is only an atom in a fabric vast and ominous, and that unknown domain press on and permeate the sphere of the known at every point, Northam, in youth and young manhood, drained in turn the founts of formal religion and occult mystery. It might be in the visible world, yet it might be only in his mind and soul. Perhaps he held within his own half-explored brain that cryptic link which would awaken him to elder and future lives in forgotten dimensions, which would bind him to the stars and to the infinities and eternities beyond them.
The earth doesn't have the word ear in it for nothing. It's a listening device. And if you know anything at all about electronics, you know that if you have a microphone, you also own a speaker. It's the same technology in reverse. So therefore, if we live on a planet that is an ear, it would be unimaginable that the ear would only be used in one direction. Therefore, why do Buddhists ask you to go to a awakened state of sleep so that you can be programmed without interference? That's what meditation is.
When in Indian philosophy it is said that the objective of the whole thing is remembering or recollecting something that has been forgotten, what is that? It means remembering who or what we really are. Well, of course, if we say, well, who am I? We say, well, I'm a person. Well, what is a person? Here is a person. A person is originally an actor's mask, whether for an ordinary dramatic performance or a ritual performance.
Is this body me, or is me the spirit inside this body? It's got to be the spirit inside the body, because when the body dies, the spirit goes somewhere, so they're separate. It's just the vehicle I'm riding around and can't get out till I kill this body. If you're in the Camaro or the Saturn car or the pickup truck, is that just the vehicle that your body with you in it's riding around in? It's just your vehicle or vessel, right? My spirit is in this human vessel, this vessel of flesh and blood. So when you say, well, I'm a flesh and blood, I'm not a flesh, I'm a spirit inside this flesh and blood.
And in the Greco-Roman world, these masks were called persona. For the word persona means that through which there comes sound. And those old masks, as they were made for the Greco-Roman stage, had mouthpieces that were shaped like a megaphone, rather wide mouths. And so, because those mouths emphasized the sound, persona became the name for a mask. And this use of the word still survives when you look in the title pages of a play and you see a list called Dramatis Personae, the persons of the drama. Because this was originally a list of the masks that the actors were going to wear. And so isn't it strange that the word person, which originally meant a mask, has come to mean what we really and truly feel ourselves to be.
No one wants to die. Even people who want to go to heaven don't want to die to get there. And yet, death is the destination we all share. No one has ever escaped it. And that is as it should be, because death is very likely the single best invention of life. It's life's change agent. It clears out the old to make way for the new. Right now, the new is you. But someday, not too long from now, you will gradually become the old and be cleared away. Sorry to be so dramatic, but it's quite true. Your time is limited, so don't waste it living someone else's life. Don't be trapped by dogma, which is living with the results of other people's thinking. Don't let the noise of others' opinions drown out your own inner voice. And most important, have the courage to follow your heart and intuition. They somehow already know what you truly want to become. Everything else is secondary.